There's a national spotlight today on Monterey Bay, and Sam Gleadle has helped Monterey Bay find their home field advantage in Seaside, California. Today, San Antonio pays a visit. They turn to old reliable Justin Dillon as a new running mate up front. Their attack on full display. It's San Antonio, Monterey Bay. It starts right now. The national spotlight is on Seaside, California, and we welcome you to the newly christened Cardinelli Stadium. Monterey Bay is back home trying to avenge their biggest loss of the year. Today's match is presented by First Capital Bank. Let's talk business. Monterey Bay and San Antonio FC. Mike Watts and the former MLS draft pick Ricky Lopez-Espin. Let's take a look at the Western Conference standings. And hey, Ricky, look at the top. That's San Antonio, level on points with Colorado Springs. Monterey Bay trying to get into that playoff conversation. San Antonio's talking about the bye.
And San Antonio, obviously, Alan Marcina and the boys, what can you say about them? Unbelievable season start to the season. They're coming into Cardinelli Stadium trying to steal a couple points here, but Monterey Bay obviously trying to right their wrong. Last time out against Oakland Roots doesn't go their way, but look for Coach Frank Yallop and the boys to get on, to be aggressive, to be motivated, and take all 3 points here tonight.
Monterey Bay last time out against Oakland, to your point, missing a number of players, but when they've been at full strength lately, they've looked like a side that could knock off a team like San Antonio.
And look at this game against Lou City, at Lou City, to come up 2-0 and steal all 3 points for Coach Yallop. Just the way that they did it, how together they were. You see here against Colorado Springs, like you mentioned, sitting at the top of the Western Conference. Just the culture that Frank Yallop is building, and they do have a lot of talent when everyone is on the field. This is a brilliant goal here for Guido Valesky, understanding the relationship between those two. They have a lot of power. They have a lot of talent. They just need to make it work.
So Monterey Bay has found their stride with those wins against, at the time, the top team in the East on the road, top team on the West at home. And they've been able to score goals in a number of ways, sometimes by sheer force of will. Meanwhile, San Antonio, Alan Marcina has a group that on the road is playing drastically better than any point in franchise history.
And it's crazy to think, you see that record there, 6-2 on the road, 3 clean sheets, especially in this league, leagues around the world, to get the job done, to clean that hard will. You have to win on the road and at home, and they're doing it on the road, so expect them to be motivated and change nothing. Obviously, they have a really talented starting 11 for Coach Marcina, and they're going to ask all sorts of questions for Monterey Bay here.
And what's more, San Antonio coming off a defeat. Only once in the last 3 years have they lost back-to-back games. That's something San Antonio will try to avoid today. At the hands of Monterey Bay, this game airing in Spanish on ESPN Deportes with Jesus Acosta and Jose Rodriguez. Ricky and I'll have the call in English. We've got lineups and kickoff when we return to Seaside.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Montrio, Tarpe's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean fresh sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Mike Watts, Ricky Lopez-Espin to walk you through the Monterey Bay lineup under Frank Yallop. The return of many players, including Gleedle and Valesky up front. Is it a three-back? We'll find out.
We'll find out. Obviously, you're going to see Rebellard play underneath Valesky. Gleedle might drop off as well. Have that two supporting system underneath the number 10 there, who plays as the number 9. You have Crawford come into the middle to dictate tempo, move the ball from left to right, really get on the ball, and have the confidence within this starting 11 for Frank Yallop. It's a really aggressive and really talented starting lineup.
All right, meanwhile, for San Antonio under Alan Marcina, no Garcia, no Collier, no Kamiri due to injuries and suspension. Delem, Loera, Adinarin, the newcomer, and Hernandez in the lineup.
And you see there, obviously we see them usually as a 3-back, but will look like it's going to be a 4-back. Obviously there's going to be a lot of fluidity and rotation, especially in that middle of the field. Dylan is going to be the target forward. Adinarin's going to play underneath him, maybe to the right. Lorea is going to drop in as a number 10. Just so much fluidity and movement in that middle third for Coach Alan Marcina and the San Antonio side.
All right, so we'll see if indeed it looks like a 3-back when it's usually a 4 and a 4-back when it's usually a 3. You know, Ricky, you and I get the lineups the same way the opposing coaches do. There's X's in certain areas to give you what they say their lineup's going to look like. But in the case of San Antonio, you lose Fabian Garcia. You've basically had the same center back trio or duo all season long, and you don't have that today. So everyone's sort of asking some questions. Maybe it's Maloney slipping inside and they play a 3 anyways. We'll find out, but it's that tactical game of chess.
And when you have a coach like Alan Marcina, it just really requires you to be versatile and just play different functions, different positions, have just so much movement like you alluded to in the beginning, like just having COVID, suspensions, whatever it may be, just having that relationship between your coaches and understanding, I feel comfortable playing in as a right center back, moving into a center back, whatever it may be. They have the talent to do it.
All right, let's get it on in Seaside. Monterey Bay hosting San Antonio FC. A game airing in English on ESPN Plus and on ESPN Deportes in Spanish on national TV. Donor to throw. Crisp and Kelp Monterey Bay jerseys. Monterey Bay sitting at the bottom of the Western Conference. San Antonio trying to confirm their place at the top. Powering through midfield. Loera. Ball cut across Traore.
I couldn't tell.
David Loera forcing his way through Dylan.
You could just see how explosive they are on this left-hand side with Loera and Traore. Obviously, Justin Dylan comes over, plays that focal point, but look at the movement for Coach Alan Marcina and the boys. It's really going to pull players out of position, open up gaps in the defensive unit of Frank Yallop.
There is Frank Yallop, the inaugural manager and sporting director for Monterey Bay. And you get the feeling he's at times had to be practical. At times he's been able to open things up a little bit. But he's trying to find the right way, game in and game out, to get this group to give the best possible outcome.
When it just starts with the players' availability. Obviously, you have guys that have been out with injury, COVID, illnesses, whatever it may be. And you can just see, we highlighted in the open, you go to Lynn family, walk out with 3 points. You have Colorado Springs here, walk out with 3 points. They have the talent. It's just getting everyone on the same page, on the field at the same time.
Roberts lost his footing. Ball aimed forward for Adinarin, who was acquired from Seattle on loan this week.
And what a pickup he is. Let me see him, Justin Dylan, when Elliot Collier comes back. Those three are a force to be reckoned with.
You might think, oh, Dylan, Adinarin, guys who played together a lot in Tacoma. Not so much. Really, it was Dylan leaving in the first place that opened the door for Adinarin to get more minutes. And an early yellow card comes out.
A yellow card caution has been issued to number 11, San Antonio.
Goes to Dylan. His 4th yellow card of the year. Alan Marcina taking issue with the early yellow card.
And it's something you don't want to see if you're a San Antonio FC supporter. Their striker coming in a bit late, catching Murphy over the top, sees yellow in the 4th minute. Something he needs to keep an eye on. Needs to be extremely disciplined, careful, not to pick up any silly second yellow.
Step in from Rebellar. Jordan Farr will step forward. Trying to get a better read on what this San Antonio side is tactically for the day. See Jordi Delem dropping in between that back line. Driven forward by Traore. Last time these teams met, it was a 6-goal San Antonio thrashing at Toyota Field. And that was the tail end of what was a 1-6-0 start for Monterey Bay. And then they got home, then they started to put a couple of results together.
Has to be a bit of motivation for Monterey Bay, obviously.
Rebellar has the support wide, driven away.
A bit thin going to San Antonio. Talking to Coach Yella, just really scratched that one off and says, hey, we didn't have the number of players that we wanted. Really makeshift back line, midfield line, whatever it is. We got really handed to us, but it's an opportunity now as we're coming along, stringing a couple performances away. We're in front of our home fans to really make things right. You know they're going to be motivated up for this match.
Perfect tackle by Donor, allowing Gleedle forward. In goes Delem.
And it does look like San Antonio comes out in a 4-4-2 with Abu and PC sitting in that middle of the park. It's going to be extremely important that Gleedle and Rebellar just really float in between lines, those soft spots in front of that back line, behind that midfield line to get on the ball and turn. Obviously, we've seen what Valesky can bring, so good as a target player to bring players in. Obviously, doesn't have the stats to score goals, but Coach Yellup says it is a matter of time till he sees his name in the goal scoring sheet. So look for those three to really combine and ask a lot of questions of San Antonio.
It's Mohamed Abu behind the ball. Abu. Off the head of Grant Robinson. Dainter. Grabbed by the returnee in goal. Carlos Herrera injured against RGV. A week after making his first pro start, initially on a 25-day contract when Rafa Diaz was injured, and Frank Yallop extending that contract out for the season. Roberts, Rebellar, brought down by PC. Bit of space to fire across through. Valero is forward. Rebellar. Donor. Kai Green. There's Sam Strong's second start of the season for Monterey Bay.
And something to keep an eye out for Monterey Bay and the way that they set up. Obviously, Strong comes in, so it's going to be a back three of Strong, Robertson, Green, Robinson, and Donor. As the wingbacks, need to have a really good understanding of when to go, when to stay, when to join the attack to provide width and really give those guys cover. So something to keep an eye on for number 3 and number 12 in blue.
Free kick for Monterey Bay, won the hard way by Rebolar.
And he's just such a skillful player, so tidy on the ball, Rebolar. Nice little turn away from PC, comes through the back. Good opportunity early in this match for Monterey Bay to ask questions of far and that back line of San Antonio.
Service here, caught by Jordan Farr. Couple feet lower, and Roberts has an open header. And Farr fires it away. Came into San Antonio at the very tail end of 2021, and the rumor all offseason was they were really high on what he brought to the table. Then you have the coaching change at Indy. All of a sudden, players that were borderline, if entirely off limits, suddenly were very much on limits to acquire over the offseason. Farr well liked at every stop, but this has been his best chance so far to own the job. Loera off the mark. Little burst here from Donor. Rebolar tried to meet that. Abu was able to knock it down. Adeniran maintains, floats. Target was Hernandez, out for a corner.
It's really good work from San Adeniran on this right-hand side. A player just so physically gifted, but has really soft feet for his size. Is able to get on the ball, get away from Strong, picks up his head, dicing a little ball to that back post, but give credit to Monterey Bay to put this out for a corner kick. You can just see how skillful Adeniran is. Him and Dylan need to be that focal point for Alan Marcina going forward.
Service across and ripped down. Herrera will launch. Gleedle. Crisscrossing runs. Epic from Maloney to get something on that.
And you need to get a touch on it. It's a brilliant run from Rebolar to pull the defender out. Nice little gap there from Valesky, but give credit to Maloney. Acrobatic intervention there.
Chipped outside Donor. San Antonio a bit discombobulated. Donor. Header down. Murphy pursues, wins it back, lost his footing. This is brand new field turf. They redid this entire venue. It's on the campus of Cal State Monterey Bay over the offseason. Adeniran brought it down well, rolled it toward Dylan. The whistle had already blown.
A bit too eager there, Adeniran. It's a good understanding of Kai Green in line with Roberts and Strong to push off that center back and put the forward offside. You just see the player that Adeniran is. He's comfortable to get the ball to feet, can run it behind.
I can't listen to directly and listen at the same time. Are you able to put it over, Bo?
But boy, Ricky, when you get that wrong.
Oh no, you have to get it right. That's what you see so many times. Especially in warm-ups, you have defending units work together, step together, drop together, really on the voice. Someone that sits in that deep line. When you get it right, extremely hard to break it down. Kai Green did get that one right.
Donor shoved off by Traore. But Donor wins it back. Crawford. Monterey Bay, at least at the outset, looks like they're ready to go punch for punch with San Antonio.
And it really stands out to me is just they have that identity. They know what they want to do. Most of their attack have come down on this right-hand side through Donor. Really good understanding of when to get forward, when to put challenges in, when to really hold back, and let the players in front of him occupy that space. He's been a bright spot already here, 15 minutes into this match, Donor has.
All the way back to Herrera. Strong. Murphy. Stoppage here belongs to San Antonio. We can tell you that celebrating its 75th anniversary, Select, proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. Choose what you play with at selectsportamerica.com. Select, league's choice, player's choice. Caught by Herrera. Donor, that was to his detriment. Loera caught the edge on Murphy. That hit Murphy last.
And it's a bad giveaway there from Donor, especially in his defensive third. The San Antonio team just has so many fire attacking units that can make you pay. You just see there, it's Loera, so active in tight spaces. The spaces that he picks up are really hard to defend, so slippery on the ball. Give credit to Monterey Bay, close down the, not let this ball go in.
Floated over the top, pulled down by Herrera. It's a leaping Mitchell Tainter. How did he leap, Ricky? Like any particular animal?
He rises like a salmon.
He does. Crawford dropping that off for Robinson. Who calls a fish an animal? That's a whole different. You
what do you
looked
call
at me,
it?
I guess. I don't know.
I was just
like
trying
a fish.
I was trying to read your mind.
Yeah. Going up, Hernandez at the back of Robinson. Nicky Hernandez won that illicitly. Quick restart here for Monterey Bay. Oh, what a finish, Valesky! Monterey Bay looks to slay another giant, and they've grabbed the lead in Seaside.
And talking to Frank Yella, he said it's going to happen. It's a matter of when it happens. A player that's been so pivotal for the success of Monterey Bay, a focal point, but give credit to Crawford. Just picks up his head, sees the run of Valesky, catches San Antonio sleeping, something you never want to do. And it's just pure determination from Valesky. Good first touch out in front of him and squeaks that into that far post that beat Jordan Farr to give this Monterey Bay side a 1-0 lead. Dream start for Coach Frank Yelp and the boys.
A long-awaited first for Christian Valesky comes in the 17th minute. Monterey Bay 1, San Antonio 0. And you can now officially say Monterey Bay has done better in this game than they did at any point in San Antonio.
But you see it time and time again when there's a dead ball situation, whether it's a free kick, a corner kick, a throw-in, really, players really think it's a time to really relax, really drop their focus down. You talk to any coach around this league, they're going to tell you that's when you need to really rank that focus up, have that communication, organization. Coach Marcina is not going to be happy with the lack of discipline from his defensive unit. It's just far too easy for Valesky to get him behind and put their side up 1-0.
I feel that I'll do anything you need me to do.
Are you pretty comfortable, like tight follow?
Yeah, I'll do.
We'll
I'll
give
do
and
anything
go.
you need me to do.
Okay.
Dylan, that slides back to Herrera. Ricky, try to describe this to me, because I watch Monterey Bay. You play on the road. There's so many obstacles that come with that. Your wins at this point, you're talking about Colorado Springs at home, Louisville on the road, Oakland on the road is an extremely difficult place. And that was perhaps before Oakland picked up full steam. Maybe Louisville was on a little bit of a high with the Open Cup right around it. Maybe Colorado Springs coming off 3 weeks, but here they are up again against San Antonio. It feels like this team is more of a rise to the occasion squad to this point.
Well, I think a nice comparison, like you said, is looking at the Oakland Roots as well. The record is not shows the quality that they have. Obviously, they're up 1-0 against San Antonio, sitting tied for first in this Western Conference. So how good they've been. Coach Martinez has these boys clicking on all cylinders. But give credit to Frank Yallop. He understands that when we have our attacking players, when we have the players that we need, the players that we want, we're not an easy out to anyone. Obviously, like you said, beating Lou City at Lou City, ask anyone around that league, especially when they're on that little rut. This chance here.
Swept forward, and this is going to roll calmly to far.
But obviously you catch Lou City in that little rut, but it's still really well put performance. A clean sheet, 2 goals, 3 points. And you can turn around and you have Colorado Springs, high-flying Haji Berry, Michi Galina, Amo, and the boys really beat them 4-2 as well. I'll tell you what, the confidence within this team is just on the rise, and they're going to keep on getting better as players are more available.
Valesky, contact, a whistle. Yellow card for Connor Maloney.
A yellow card caution has been issued for San Antonio.
And he needs to make this challenge. Last-ditch defending effort there from Maloney. Realizes the danger. He comes across. And give credit to Valesky, just a bit quicker. Clever, just to put it around and run the other way. But again, it's Valesky just flirting with this offside line, this back line of San Antonio, causing all sorts of problems. You can see there, it gets there before Maloney. It is a foul. With the lack of organization in the back for Coach Marcina, has to be really head-scratching. It's the second time Valesky has gotten him behind.
James Murphy aligns and drives to the back post, well beyond the back post. And San Antonio, as they so often do, playing quickly. Well, this time Strong is in position. This is the second and final meeting between Monterey Bay and San Antonio in this 2022 season. Ball across. Valesky was there again. It bounces by to Jordan Farr.
And that's when Monterey Bay is going to have a lot of success when they switch the point of attack, moving the ball from left to right, opening up gaps in the defensive unit of San Antonio. So we've seen San Antonio play 3-back. Now they play a 4-back. Maybe not the most comfortable in it, especially Hernandez and Lorera. We like to pinch in, open up gaps for players like Robinson and Donor to put dicing balls in. And give credit to Farr. He comes off his line extremely quick to deny a goal scoring opportunity.
Over the top, Adeniran is through, kick save, Herrera. Splays out, denies Adeniran his first goal for San Antonio. Adeniran collecting on the run, PC. What we talk about when stepping your lineup goes wrong.
Exactly.
That's what that looks like.
And it's a good pick out here from Traore. Just picks up his head. An inside to out run from Adeniran, just flirting with that line. Catches strong, flat-footed, not with his defenders, but give credit to Herrera. Doesn't give any angle, kick save. Really big time save there from the Monterey goalkeeper.
Set piece for San Antonio. First ball's away. Rebolar against Maloney.
But like you said, Mike, it's such a hard task to get under control when you're trying to do that offside trap, excuse me. You have a lot of communication, understanding, especially within that back line. Just see Kai Green and Robert step up. Strong doesn't understand that, stays a bit too late, and the dinner almost makes you pay.
Loera. Valesky kept it in. It appears players for both teams have zero faith in the officials to adequately guide a line that's going to roll up the far. You saw the entire bench from Monterey Bay throw their hand up on the shot by Adeniran a moment ago, and now you've got 3 San Antonio players saying the ball's over the line. But we all just decide that they'll know when the ball's over a line and use the whistle as you know, intended. A little give and go. Abu lost his footing. Pounds the grass. Free kick, Monterey Bay. Push off by Traore.
And San Antonio is having a really hard time trying to connect a couple passes through that middle of the park. There's no really pivot player underneath Adeniran and Dylan really connect the midfield to the front line when you need a player like Loera maybe to drop in and pinch into the middle of the field, really give another support system. You need those 2 players really confident on the ball early and often. They are your strikers, the guys that are going to make the difference.
Dylan going to beat Strong to the ball. I don't know what the issue is, but there apparently are some stud problems here because everybody's slipping all over the place.
And most of the time when it's a new turf that's laid down, it plays extremely heavy. Hasn't really been played on, really broken into. It's really surprising. Maybe they water it. I'm not sure. Obviously, we weren't able to see before the match. And it seems to play extremely fast, extremely quick.
Loera maintaining somehow, allowing Adeniran in. That deflection left a lot more work to be done, and now it's cleared as far as Maloney. Now it's moved okay. I'm intrigued as the step in. Ultimately, we'll keep this with San Antonio. Bounding through. This will be a corner. In your experience, this turf has been down for a little over a month maybe, and been played on consistently. How long does it typically take before you feel like a turf plays normal?
Well, you have to think. There's different types of turf. Obviously, I don't know what they have here in Monterey Bay. Usually the black pellets are rubber, sometimes they're coconut.
Service across.
When you have that coconut, ooh.
Oh, wide with a deflection. That attempted bike off the mark from Jordi Delem.
And he's just looking like a striker, the center back coming up into that 18-yard box. Bit of deflection, just the first to react. Instinctual there from Jordi Delem, and I'll tell you what, it's not far off. A lot of players, especially in blue, Herrera just watching, lucky enough, and it goes out for a corner kick, but good effort there from Jordi Delem. But when you have really that coconut, that is really that grade A turf that you see in whether it's the MLS, top leagues around the world.
Colorado Springs laid that down and cost them 6 figures plus more.
It makes a world of difference, the way that the ball rolls, just the like wear and tear on your body as well. You learn something every day, right?
You do. Know more about Corkinut than I had ever anticipated. Donor. Valesky's first touch. Takes it back to Abu. Loera stepped on the ball, rolled right over it.
And then you see it has to be Justin Dillon just dropping in, trying to get on the ball. You want him to really stay high, occupy the defenders of Monterey Bay, and have Loera really drop in and pinch in where you have PC or Abu really drop, push in a little bit higher. You just need to have that connection to the strikers. It's been lacking for Coach Marcina 29 minutes into this match.
Traore continuing to battle for it. Whisked into midfield, Delem. Loera, and they'll go wide through Traore. Swerves this toward goal and over the bar. Approaching the half-hour mark, they're saying that's a corner. Did that catch a piece of Donor? Very well may have.
We'll take a look at it here. Creates a bit of space there. It's hard to see. Where are you going with?
You know me, I line up with the officials on this. Service is punched away by Herrera. Tie should go to the referee. If you really are in slow motion, unable to be completely sure,
Yeah,
assume the ref heard something.
I agree.
Of course, my opinion on this, like coleslaw, isn't for everybody. Valesky, Galidal. He's got support from Revelar. Galidal forgot something. It continues. Revelar gives back. Galidal angling for the ball and away by PC, who tracked all the way to the end line. Corner, Monterey Bay.
And then it just comes on this right-hand side for Monterey Bay between Galidal, Valesky, Revelar. Just an understanding of just a will to run in behind. And again, the disorganized backline of San Antonio almost gets punished. Bit of combination, but give credit to PC, working extremely hard, wearing that captain's armband, leading by example. Put this ball out for a corner. It's another opportunity here for Murphy to whip this ball in.
Murphy, a lot of contact. Everyone from Monterey Bay saying clearly Valesky had been run over. All the while, PC is still down. USL Championship's Twitter page said that Valesky had drawn first blood in this game. He actually may have done it in more ways than one. His PC is still checking here. Does he catch Valesky's heel?
It's hard to see in that angle, but I think it has to. I don't think there's any ill will there from Valesky at all. Just unlucky there for PC.
Well, it will lead to another corner. It's Murphy with the delivery. Falls in front and cycled over by Rebel R.
And those are always tricky. Maybe for Revelar, the ball just bounces across, and you're really mixed between, do I let it come down and I need to be quick? Obviously, Farr makes life extremely difficult, excuse me, for Revelar. Tries to go for the acrobatic overhead kick, just gets it all wrong. But again, it's good signs for Monterey Bay. Always on the front foot. If you're Coach Marcini, you're not going to be happy with your defensive efforts already in this match. while bouncing around in your 18-yard box is a recipe for disaster. Great ball.
Wonderful ball, and initially away from Hernandez. Dillon was trailing. Dillon led to the end line. Floats too far for Loera. Although, perhaps, let's be honest, Dillon the better target. Loera this time couldn't get it to Dillon.
And I think he just takes a bit too long there from Dillon. Elects to take another touch, but if he whips that in first time, just sees what happened, just cause a bit of chaos within the back line of Monterey Bay. Good run here from Maloney.
Maloney getting forward behind a Dinnerin. Loera leapt up, nearly able to pull that in. Maloney sort of comes out of nowhere there down that right-hand side, but he's been really active.
And just see how comfortable he is running up and down that right-hand side. Has the likes of playing a 3-back, has that wing back really roll, really comes in involved. Another attacking option for Coach Marcina going forward.
That's a little frustration from Sam Adeniran.
And they're just so hard to pick up. Doesn't give up on the play. You can just see he outruns 4 or 5 blue shirts to get on the end of it. Something you don't want to see if you're Coach Gialla. And a bit of skill there from Donors to pop it over Loera.
It's fun watching film of San Antonio when you decide you're going to watch a specific player. Their movement can be so predictably unpredictable. Away there from Dillon. You know that that's where Mahoney ultimately wants to be. But with all that traffic in between the 2 passes down that right side, it feels different, but it is a notable pattern.
It is just so hard to defend. You have to have so much communication. You think it's Reblar that has him, turns over his left shoulder, Mahoney's gone, and Mahoney's putting a cross in. When you have deep lying runs, whether it's from the midfield, this time it's your outside back, breaking lines, it's such a value to have. It's an opportunity here for San Antonio right outside this 18-yard box.
Well, apparently this is a handball. Let's try and get a better look here. I thought that went for the head, Kai Green. Instead caught his arm, and he's very grateful he's outside the penalty area. So he didn't know much about that. Abu runs away. It's Hernandez cracking a liner out in front of goal. Maloney. Loera. Piece of that from Gleedle. Caught by Herrera. 36 minutes gone. We appreciate you watching in English, but we also love to invite you to watch in Spanish if you should so choose. This game also airing on ESPN Deportes, as a number of games are this year. There are also games in English on national TV, including next week, USL on ESPN matinee. 2 surging sides meeting in the Motor City. El Paso Locomotive and Detroit City FC. Saturday, June 18th. It's a noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific kickoff live on ESPN. That is the first regular season match in the championship's history to air on ESPN. What a way to stick it to Detroit. Trains? Not in that city. Throw in by Donor. Whoa, Loera's gone. Powering ahead, seeking a Dinnerin. A Dinnerin, and it is over the line. It's an own goal. It was saved by Herrera and guided over the line by Strong. San Antonio level, 38 minutes in.
And I've been saying it all game. Herrera needs to pinch in and play as that true number 10. Just see why I'm talking about it. Just so skillful, so quick, so slippery. And the vision that he has, he picks up this ball in the middle of the field, skips away there from Murphy. Everyone looks at the run of Dylan. Really unselfish run, but he picks out Adeniran. Good idea, doesn't hit it clean enough. And Strong, just unable to get his feet underneath him. It's a good initial save there from Herrera. It's just so unlucky there from number 99, Strong. No, you never want to see that. It's 1-1, all to play for both of these squads now.
Well, it's brutal for Strong, because if you make no play on the ball, Justin Dillon is there to sweep it in. You have to make some effort. It did look like Herrera got enough that in a vacuum it would have gone wide. Adeniran chasing, and Herrera will pick it up.
And it's just that run from Dillon that really opens up that passing lane from Herrera to pick out Adeniran. It's really good movement between the front two men. Really unselfish run there from Dillon. I give credit to San Antonio. As they went down 1-0, they really got on the ball a bit more, moving the ball from left to right. Herrera has really come active. He's a big difference maker.
Herrera from his knee. So all the good work Monterey Bay has done, poof, it's gone. That's San Antonio in a nutshell, though, isn't it?
They're so explosive going forward. So you're looking for players like Lido, Rebelar, Valesky to get on the ball a bit more again. Had so much success in the beginning 30 minutes of this match. Really haven't gone the way that they want. To look for them to really have that response.
Pushing and shoving and cleared. Flustered. San Antonio couldn't get it out. Came up toward Valesky. And the service from Rebelar. Donor. Grabbed here by Farr. I'm interested on your take so far of what you've seen from Adeniran coming into this San Antonio side on loan from Seattle. He's on a one-year deal with the Sounders, 2 option years that follow. He had gotten 8 games this year with Tacoma Defiance and MLS Next Pro, the former championship side, down in the 3rd division. That's caught by Herrera. And a couple games in MLS, game in the Open Cup, game in Champions League with the Sounders. What have you made of Adeniran's contributions just days after arrival?
I mean, when you cause a goal, obviously it is a positive impact. It's really, I'd like to see is he's been the movement that he's really had. We've seen times he got caught offside once. Second time he was onside, a good save from Herrera. And then he really makes havoc to cause that goal. When you have a player that is just so physically gifted, most of the time you like to see him as a target player, but Adeniran brings more than that. He's able to run in behind, he's able to come to feet. We've seen earlier in this first half, he's able to have a bit of skill and skip away from the players. He is a full package, and a player like that, you just need confidence, you need rhythm, you need games. I mean, when you see the ball hit the back line as a striker, it does a world of good for your confidence. So look for him and Justin Dillon. When you have Elliot Collier coming back, those front 3 for San Antonio, it's going to be a nightmare to defend. They're all going to feed off of each other, and they're able to work together. Obviously, you have players like Adeniran, Dillon that require just so much attention. It's going to leave Collier open, and vice versa. There's so much attacking power for Coach Marcina.
Ball ahead, chipped in. What a goal for San Antonio. They've turned it completely around. And they lead in Seaside. Dillon the finish.
And I just talked about how explosive they are going forward. The bad turnover in the back from Strong. This time it's PC playing assist maker. There's just a bit of a cheeky finish there from Dillon. He catches Herrera off his line. You can't teach that. 5th on the year. Give credit to it. Clinical, confident, all the above. Unbelievable way to put his side up 2-1 in this first half.
So it's officially an own goal from Sam Strong, 38 minutes in. It was set up by Adeniran, and now Dillon, a good finish to put San Antonio ahead here.
And it's good understanding between the middle players, whether it's Abu, PC pushes up, Abu gets the bad turnover, a little combination between those two, the ball's in the back of the net. And much like a dinner, and Dylan has the ability to make those runs in behind, to understand there is space, darting run from inside to out, and then it's just a class finish.
I say this in the nicest way possible about San Antonio. There are teams that have to grind and grind and grind to create a goal. When San Antonio scores, it feels so effortless.
It's just a testament to how much talent they have, right? To pull off a finish like that, Dylan makes it look a lot easier than it is. Yeah. Those are not easy, especially on turf. You see guys get it all wrong, don't get underneath the ball, maybe get too much underneath the ball. And give credit to Herrera. He's been extremely good in this first half. Good big-time saves. He just gets beaten by Dylan.
Sam strongly taking it over the line. Loera gave that chase. Donor.
And it's a perfect picture there. You see the gaps between the lines for San Antonio. So if you're Gleedle, you maybe want to drift in a bit centrally, have Valesky really occupy Delem and Tainter, and have that operating room, 10, 15-yard radius. Get on the ball in the half turn, run at this back line of San Antonio, make them make decisions. That's where you're going to have the most success going forward for Monterey Bay.
There is halftime. Monterey Bay was having some fuzzy feelings 30 minutes in. We remember this. We've beaten top teams time and time again. San Antonio is a different kettle of fish altogether, aren't they?
And it's sprinkled in a bit of motivation for Monterey Bay. Obviously, you go up 1-0, you let in 2. What's a reaction like? What's a response for Frank Yallop and the boys coming out of the locker room? You need to get Gleedle, Reblar in those half spaces. Had so much success early in that first half running in behind, so come back to that for San Antonio. Need to lock down that back four. Too many open gaps, disorganization. So a lot to play for in this next 45 minutes. We'll see what the tactical changes both of these head coaches do.
All right, today's halftime is presented by Integris Wealth Management. San Antonio on the road. And what a performance in the final 15 minutes. Alan Marcina's men have turned this thing totally around. Dylan and Adeniran causing all kinds of problems. A goal for Valesky, but it's San Antonio ahead 2-1 at the intermission. Welcome back. Today's halftime is presented by Integris Wealth Management.
Good, all right.
The Monterey
Good,
Bay
right?
fans, yes, there are fans here now. We're a couple games into the home schedule, and here's what's coming up. At LA, so another one of those California matches, although a little bit further away. Then you host Sacramento. I think a lot of people have been waiting for that one.
That's going to be a massive match. Obviously, Sacramento on fire right now. You have New Mexico coming to town. Then you're at Orange County, the reigning champs. And then at Detroit City, or you host Detroit City, excuse me. A lot of competition there for Frank Yallop, but I think the team, if they get those players back, Arun Basulovic, Chase Bone, we're going to have a lot to say going forward. Exciting matchup here.
Yeah, good news, LA is back from their international break. That may affect the roster then, and then Sacramento is playing the Open Cup that week. So maybe there's a little break, all things considered. Here's what's coming up for San Antonio. You're going to host the Roots, then you're going to go to Colorado Springs. The first meeting between those teams was postponed till later in the season. We've all been waiting a long time for June 24th.
Yeah, that one's going to be extremely exciting. Fireworks, attacking matches up all over the field. Then you host Tulsa, host the Battery, and then you go to El Paso. Really competitive matchup again for Coach Alan Marcina. But if anyone can walk out of there with all points in this match, it's San Antonio.
All right, so that's what's coming up for these two teams. But I sat down with Devin Kerr this week on SiriusXM FC. We discussed the best players of all time, and we took a lot of heat for it. Let's show you some of our thoughts.
We thought we'd switch it up a little bit here and get into the USL Championship all-time greats in the modern era dating back to 2010. Give us your top 5.
Yeah, so you have to go with the all-time leading scorer. Dane Kelly's easy. He's played for so many teams, accomplished so much, 105 goals. Forrest Lasso, you keep winning Defensive Player of the Year. At some point, you have to be considered the best defender in league history. King Kenny, no one has more assists. He won a title in Rochester. They pulled him out of the Arena League, and Bob Lilly has turned him into his chief commander. Cameron Lancaster, 25 goals. You might say, what about Haji Berry? Well, Cam's done it longer, and he's done it on title-winning teams. And, of course, for Indy 11 now, but most of his accomplishment, except for the 3 assists this year, in Phoenix. So Solo, twice an MVP, has to be there. I left out a ton of good players. It didn't feel right, but you made me pick 5. All right, Dev. This was all on SiriusXM FC earlier in the week, but we're going to talk about it anyways. Your top 5 of all time.
All right, so I share some of the same sentiments for Dane Kelly, Bernardo Forbes, and Solomon Asante. It's length of time, the quality, the systems, the coaches they've played under, and the interchangeability with and all of that. My 2 other guys, George Davis IV. Here's why. George Davis IV, 242 regular season appearances. That's first all-time. 57 goals. That's tied for 10th all-time. And we'll sprinkle in 19 assists. No matter if he was in Louisville, if he was the star in Richmond, in the 9, the 7, the 11, he did everything asked upon him. And now he's making waves at the academy level and beyond for Lou City. On and off the field. Great character for that guy. Evan Newton. You can't talk about a goalkeeper that's first in saves in the USL Championship, that first in shutouts, and not include him as one of the all-time greats. You and I talk about him all the time, that he is undervalued within this league. He has been great at every single stop that he has been at, and I'll say this as well. He's been pummeled in a lot of situations, and yet every single time steps up, knocks it out of the park, and makes his team relevant defensively.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
I'm on that routine. I'm on that routine.
years in the making, a dream start for City.
Maxi Rodriguez, what a stop by Steinwasser.
And it's into the back of the net. El Paso.
Far corner and it's in. What a goal. Are you watching Football Americas?
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Monterey, Tarpey's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean-fresh, sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Halftime is presented by Integris Wealth Management. There's still a good atmosphere here in Monterey Bay. They had an early lead. They've watched it slip away. Mike and Ricky, to walk you through news and notes. Jeremy Kelly is the player of the month. Ben Pierman is coach of the month. And don't look now, but Memphis is starting to run the East.
Unbelievable. I don't think many people thought that coming into the year. I know you didn't. I did not as well. But they're playing a good style of football, and well deserved to those boys there.
All right, Plains will get El Paso to Detroit, but it's the trains and the automobiles that are going up against it next Saturday.
Keyworth is going to be bumping.
Yeah, as always. Here are the scores from midweek. All 3 of these games, lightning delays.
No, what do you want me to say to that? I'm not a fan of it, obviously. That Miami FC at Indy 11 was an interesting matchup, obviously, tactically, between those 2 head coaches there, and then you see Birmingham taking care of Memphis 1-0. Really surprising.
Here comes Birmingham at the playoff line. So, all right, hopefully there is no lightning in any of this upcoming schedule on ESPN. ESPN hosts Detroit, then Hartford. ESPN2 gets San Antonio, and FC Tulsa have a new team president that just arrived. And then July 4th, it's Air Force against Navy, so to speak.
And that one's going to be so exciting to watch. Colorado Springs hosts San Diego Loyal. Then you look down in Deportes, RGV against Las Vegas Lights. Really juicy matches up all over the screen.
And meanwhile, catch your next piece of memorabilia out there in the stands here at Cardinelli Stadium. San Antonio's he's got 2 shirts.
You see those hands?
Hey, you gotta start handing those out. What are you doing?
There's a baby right next to you. Give it to him.
Well, that's a blanket for an infant, but that's neither here nor there. San Antonio 2, Monterey Bay 1, halftime presented by Integris Wealth Management. Back with the second half after these messages.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Monterey, Tarpey's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean-fresh, sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Let's show you first half highlights between Monterey Bay and San Antonio. We start in the 18th minute of play, and why not? That's where the goal comes. All right, stoppage. Place that ball down. Here we go. Valesky's gone.
And it's just so high IQ between Robbie, understanding Crawford, Valesky. Don't look now. Farr's not going to be happy with the lack of save there, but give credit to Valesky running it behind, had that finishing touch. 1-0 Monterey Bay. We talked about it all game, but where it needs to be as that new true number 10 pulling the strings. Good pick out from Adinarin. Doesn't hit it as clean as possible, but don't look now. Strong, unable to get his feet underneath him, puts the ball in the back of his own net. Never good if you do that.
And then in the 42nd minute, can't give the ball away to San Antonio because, well, they're gone. It's Dillon. That's class.
And it's just 2 passes, and the ball's up in the back of the net. Like you said, Mike, that is class. There's no questioning that. Skillful finish there from the big man to put his side up 2-1. We'll see what the second half has in store and what the messages were from both head coaches.
All right, this was the early game in the day in the USL Championship. You can watch it live on ESPN Deportes and Espanol. You can watch it right here on ESPN Plus in English. We are underway in the second half. San Antonio leads Monterey Bay 2-1. Given away, but Dillon a little too much on Rebel R. You and I were talking about this at halftime. There's an element of Dillon's at his best because he's in the right place at the right time, but that's not a mistake, and it's a finely tuned skill.
Well, all the strikers have it.
Monterey Bay gets the final third, and it's kicked out.
Well, that's why you're paid to be the front line, to spearhead the attack. All the strikers have that instinct to be in the dangerous areas, and obviously you understand when a player is coming and running at the ball, with the ball at you, you need to make a move, and he picks the right move there, and then it ends up in the back of the net. Just shows you how explosive going forward San Antonio is, and if you're Monterey Bay, you can't give over the ball. It's going to be cheaply in your defensive half because you can see what happens. Good opportunity here for Murphy early in the second half.
Service across too high for Roberts, and Crawford will catch that. That's quite the collision at the back post. And the referee doing as he should, stopping play for a potential head injury.
It's a bit of coming together between Kai Green and Hernandez. It's never fun when a player comes over the top of you and just gives you a knock in the back of the head. Good on the ref to stop play, not take any chances.
Hernandez helped up, 23-year-old who left SMU a year early, drafted in the first round by his hometown FC Dallas. Spent a couple of years at North Texas. The always giving North Texas side, ultimately choosing to send him to San Antonio for the 2022 season. Hernandez will jog over. Will need to be allowed back in by the fourth official. Hernandez returns. To Roberts, strong-willed header taken down by Rebel R. Angling through midfield and launched along. That's easy for Farr. Obviously, Valesky has been involved on the set pieces, and he gets involved off that quickly taken free kick. How do you get him more involved in the run of play? Because we haven't seen a lot of it in this game. And even Donor, who in the first 20 minutes owned his side of the field, was locked in a little more in the second half of that opening 45.
Well, the way that Frank Yelp wants to play, he wants to have just a really pivot true number 9 striker, so you need to have those players underneath him to get on the ball, to give him the service, whether it's Gleedle, whether it's Robillard. And we saw in the first half, we were able to find that space between the back line and midfield line, get on the half turn, run at this back line of San Antonio. Really went away from that as the half went on. So you're looking for players like number 23 and 7 in blue. Really pick up those soft spots, get on the ball. As a striker, you live and die on the service that you receive. So you need to get Valesky a little bit more involved. Much like I said, Dylan in that first half for San Antonio. You need Valesky on the ball as well, especially in dangerous situations.
And notably, no Moby Fair for this game. And also you could argue, although it's been a longer-term injury, Arun Basulovic.
Exactly. And I talked to Frank Yallop this week. He said it's going to be extremely important to break that initial press of San Antonio. He highlighted Arun Basulovic, a player that I know personally. He lives and dies in those pockets, has the skill to be able to get on that half turn, pull players apart, whether it's dribbling, passing. The big loss for Monterey Bay. They can't get him back soon enough.
The deflection curls back toward Hernandez. Do you play against Basulovic? Creighton, Georgetown?
Creighton, Georgetown Academy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, going back to Shattuck and the Red Bulls.
Let's go, let's go.
Is it a beef-laden relationship?
No,
good.
Good guy.
Hopefully back on the field sooner than later.
Exactly. They need him.
A couple of years ago in Fresno, he was among the league leaders in passes. He was really the glue that kept that playoff team together. Some good years at Red Bull as well. Maloney. Hernandez. Robinson swept that through brilliantly. Valesky's not going to get there, though. Tainter. That's one of the more obvious yellow cards for dissent I've seen in a while. Also, Valesky may be onto something with his underlying argument.
When you're able to break that initial press of San Antonio, you're going to have a lot of success running in behind the real estate. Give credit to Tainter, really clever. Not a lot of contact in there, but there is a bit of contact with the hand on the back, and he makes the most of it. And if you're Valesky, you need to be a bit more composed. You can see not inviting him to Thanksgiving dinner there as he picks up a yellow out of frustration.
He does play with a little bit of fire, Christian Valesky. And he's scored 47 goals in the league. He's been around for a while, dating back to time in Rochester. Through St. Louis, Oklahoma City, Pittsburgh with Bob Lilly again, Colorado.
But those are the spots that Robillard needs to get on the ball. And but to break that press, face forward, has the quality to pick out a pass.
Headbutt.
You have Gleedle and Valesky, which are willing runners running behind. It's going to be the key to success in the second half for Monterey Bay.
Well, the athletic trainer was waved on because of the potential head injury. Murphy's gotten up on his own, though.
Just a coming together between Murphy and Abu there. Glad to see him up again on his own power.
It's a drop ball for Monterey Bay off the stoppage. Robinson getting a bit more involved. Our camera person inviting hazard pay. This is a stretch for Monterey Bay in which they play 7 of 9 games at home. You think about it, you're playing between a third and a half of your home games About a 2.5-month stretch after that long early road swing. Donor that's a goal kick. Speared aside, that'll drop down to Crawford. Valesky, good turn. Crawford, Rebelar. Donor with the width, the cross. Corner, Monterey Bay. That was one of the better buildups the Union have had here in the second half.
And it's a good attack for Monterey Bay. You just see Valesky, the movement. Understand, as Guido pushes high, there is going to be a second ball interchange between him, Crawford, Rebelar. Good first touchdown from Donor. Give credit to Traore.
Bouncing ball in front, lashed once, then strong after Valesky, denied by Farr. And cleared away by Dillon. And better from PC. That was chaos in front of Jordan Farr on the corner.
And it's nervy moments for San Antonio and their back line. This ball bouncing around like pinball. How this ball does not end up in the back of the net is beyond me. Give credit, though, to San Antonio when they don't deal with it well enough at first. Just put a lot of numbers in front of Farr. And have that great wall of China not to let that ball go through. Unlucky for Monterey Bay, but good signs. Stay on the front foot. When you put balls in dangerous situations, good things happen.
Farr really took a lashing for the cause there. Foul from Maloney. Chipped forward, and they've lost Robinson out wide. How great is this wall?
You just see defending. In all means, give credit to Jordan Farr, putting his body on the line. Traore comes in. Abu, Sainter. Pretty good wall, if you ask me.
Good news, Chase Boone has entered the game after missing the last game. First time off the bench for Chase Boone all season. That's it for Sam Strong. Well, now we've got a whole different conversation to have about. They went to a 3-back with Strong. You'd think this would lead them back to a 4?
And I think it's going to be a 4-4-1-1. You have Boone slipped over to this left-hand side, playing as his winger. He's just a game changer. You saw the goal that he scored against Colorado Springs. Pulls it back behind his standing foot, finds the back of the net. 4 goals, 1 assist on the year. So look for him to play himself into this game. Don't need to do that. Don't need to have that off the ball nonsense. You want to stay on your field, your best attributes to get on the ball, really pick apart this back line of San Antonio, run in behind, have a good relationship between him and Valesky. So Frankie Alec needs to be extremely happy to see him on the field.
Boone has had no problem mixing it up this year. Not small, but not exactly, you know, towering either, and yet nothing really seems to dismiss him from getting involved in those scuffles. San Antonio's preparing a change. Santiago Patino, by the way, is in the 18 today.
Yes.
David Loera is coming off. Shane Beckford comes on, the full Jamaican international who was not called in the Reggae Boys for this window. Beckford will bring a level of international caliber to the field.
A lot of quickness as well. Direct in his movement. Look for him to really put this Monterey Bay backline in a really uncomfortable situation just with his running and the space that he picks up. Nightmare to defend, Beckford is.
Speaking of putting people under pressure, here comes Valesky. Gonna make Farr send that out toward the halfway line. Hernandez over the top. Adeniran. There's the whistle. He's offside.
And it's a lot easier to get it right when you have players that are comfortable with each other, have played with each other. You Roberts and Kai Green step together as a unit, as they should, to catch Adeniran offside. And they just feel the impact of Chase Boone insertion of this match as Jordan Delem picks up a silly yellow here.
A yellow card caution has been issued to number 5 on San Antonio FC.
So Delem goes into the book, and this is quite the place to get a set piece. You call it silly. Tough place to give one up.
And you can just see the arm over the shoulder of Boone. Gets a better positioning of him. You're looking for right around that 6-yard box, between the 6-yard box and that penalty spot. The player to give a chance, get a good whip, pace, shape on this ball from Murphy.
Referee lays down a swath of ref edge. Murphy. And this will run all the way down to Herrera. Boone. Crawford. Revelar. San Antonio's gotten back well, but Murphy rolled it off target. Monterey Bay finding themselves here 16 minutes into the second.
You feel the confidence growing for Monterey Bay. Boone picks this ball up between lines, and you think Crawford's just going to really roll this ball into Revelar, can hit it first time. It's a bit behind him. And again, just Chase Boone coming in, causing problems, asking questions of San Antonio and their defensive unit. Murphy unable to get this on target. And if you're San Antonio, you're looking for PC and a boot to get on the ball a bit more, kind of relieve the pressure that they've been under for the last couple minutes. Move the ball from left to right, really get the confidence within the team back. It's been all Monterey Bay so far in the second half. You haven't said the name Dylan Adeniran as much as any San Antonio supporter would like. So it's going to be really interesting to see maybe the tactical in-game changes that Alan Marcina does.
Another set piece, and this time they're going to go short. Revelar trying to angle by Hernandez, and Hernandez concedes the corner. Hernandez asking the referee for a stoppage here. Hernandez, I don't know that sign. That was either no, don't do it, or make the change. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
I think he's cramping. Good effort defensively, Hernandez. He leaves his feet and he needs to get it right, and he does. You just see he's holding his right calf, it looks like. Maybe a cramp, those are never fun. Have you had a cramp, Mike?
I have, not because I was athletically gifted. It's a lack of bananas, primarily.
Oh, those are
Did you have a good anti-cramp method?
I did, but once, I'll tell you what, once I got drafted, I had a problem with cramps, and both of my calves would always cramp. It was extremely weird. I need to salt my food, maybe more bananas, whatever it was, but.
Someone told me mustard.
I'm not a mustard fan, so maybe.
Okay. Number 32.
We have condiment issues. Change here for San Antonio. cross here, that's cleared as far as Gleedle. Ball across, oh, what a save, Farr, he kept it out. And he won a free kick. Jordan Farr defying gravity and physics.
It's a good ball in from Gleedle. Great header from Valesky, but even better save from Farr. Gets down to his right-hand side like a cat. The big bear claw to keep it out, and boy, is that close. Big time save from San Antonio goalkeeper to keep this lead intact. Valesky does extremely well, does everything right, heads it down to the corner. Well, like you talked about earlier in this game, Mike, they went out and got Farr for a reason. He's proving them right once again. What a save that is.
Wow. All right then. Monterey Bay has now officially had their chance. It was a Tess Joof who came on a couple moments ago. Taken back by Monterey Bay, splitting ball. Rebel is going to run it all the way up to Farr. Ball lined in simply. By Adeniran. Rebel R. Joof put his arms out. He thought that should have stayed with San Antonio. Monterey Bay have found the opposite side into the penalty area. A winding run with a deflection. Rebel R.
Damn it, Jim.
Got it wrong. Spinning up toward him.
And all sorts of gaps are opening in the San Antonio defensive unit. The ball moving from left to right from Monterey Bay. Give credit to Donor, who's been a bright spot. It's a skip away from Traore. And if you're Rebel Art, you have this time to take a second touch, to settle yourself, compose yourself. A bit too eager and puts it over the bar. But give credit to Rebel Art. And with a squeak away from a couple white shirts, play this ball into Crawford, out the other way. Really good possession from Frankie Yellup and the boys again, as they're playing themselves into this match.
Murphy. Goodness, all this space again. Rebel R for Valesky. Valesky across. Seeking Boone. Joof.
If you're San Antonio, you need to have a bit more organization and communication, passing off runners. It's far too easy.
Boone feigns support from Donor. Donor crossing in front, it's in! It's a San Antonio own goal! Monterey Bay is level! Jordy Delem, the unlucky man who touched it last.
And again, it's just a combination play between the middle. Murphy finds Boone, plays it out to Donor again, who puts a Tyson ball in. Again, life is hard if you're Jordy Delem. You need to make a play on it. You have Valesky flirting around behind you. If you don't touch it, it's an easy tap in for number 10 there. Just so unlucky, gets it all wrong and ends up in the back of the net, but give credit to Monterey Bay again. Asking questions, being on the front foot, moving the ball from left to right, having a lot of possession coming out of the break. Been the better side, so now another response is needed for San Antonio.
The last meeting between these teams had 6 goals. All 6 were San Antonio's. Now each team has given the other a goal, and each team has scored one of their own. San Antonio, Monterey Bay level at 2, 69th minute. What's been a really nice start to a Saturday in the USL Championship. That's Ricky Lopez-Espin, Mike Watts on hand in Seaside. Crowd is enthralled once more. San Antonio, a corner. A boo. First header's away. Rebel R brought down. Yellow card. Should be Beckford going into the book.
A yellow card caution has been issued in number
I'll tell you what, who
8,
knows what happens if Beckford doesn't intervene here. Rebel R with his running mate. They're off to the races here. Steve Glito involved as well. Comes in behind, catches Rebel R. It's a professional foul there from Beckford.
Here comes Monterey Bay again. Rolled back to far. Monterey Bay, the fuse lit. Space here, Boone. Boone isolates and delivers off the back of Maloney. That's 31 on 31. 70 minutes gone. Corner, Monterey Bay. Murphy sits up Gleedle. Gleedle floating. Well, here's the danger moment. San Antonio, when they fan out and run at you, are as threatening as any team in the league. That's a clean challenge. But that is a poor ball deflected down over to Boone. Crowd roars, Boone and line. And caromed off of Delem. Sits up, Murphy! Deflected, still. Another blast is blocked. This one from Crawford. And clever to get that wide, Donor. And Boone's arrived again. To the feet of Rebel R. Back out to Boone. Tainter came up to it and lifted away by Delem. What a game in Seaside.
All sorts of pressure from Monterey Bay against the San Antonio back line. It has to come to the feet of Boone. There's just been an impact substitute for Frankie Alpson's coming on. Getting on the ball, pulling players apart.
The service was off of Valesky. It was too high for a leaping Hugh Roberts.
It's going to be a bit disappointed there for Valesky. It is a free header. It is a bit awkward running backwards. You need to be able to snap that over your left shoulder and put it in a dangerous area, whether it's Boone, Robertson. Just give your teammates a chance. If you're San Antonio, you need to get on the ball, whether it's through PC or Boo. Really dictate this tempo, take the sting out of this game, as it's been all Monterey Bay. You need to get those players. Beckford in the pocket, the Dillon running in behind, Dillon as well. And far too pedestrian in the middle of third for San Antonio.
Dillon has been kept away from the ball. Now he's racing through. Onto his right, seeking Joof. Pulled in by Herrera.
You just see how special Dillon is. Likes to run in behind, but also very comfortable with the ball at his feet. It's a good strike there from Joof.
And here comes Valesky. Valesky in front, and there's Farr. How long can these teams sustain this?
And he gets the better of Jordy Delem there. There's this touch right here that kills Valesky, that one right there. It just sends him a bit too far wide, closes down the angle. Again, he's been active, he's been a handful. Valesky 74 minutes into this match.
Through, Dillon, flag down, Dillon denied, Roberts sliding in. He's livid, thought surely that had to be offside.
And San Antonio is at their best when they have a player playing provider, and I'll tell you what, he does look offside there by about a yard. Here Roberts has an argument. If you're Justin Dillon, you need to be extremely quicker in that 18-yard box. Really decisive, takes far too long. Enables Herrera, Roberts to really recover.
There's a change coming. Wow, Herrera spun like a top in midair. He goes down, and Jordi Delem is down as well.
Really confident goalkeeping.
Yeah.
Been extremely well when asked upon. Really decisive in his movements. That's what you want from a goalkeeper, someone that really oozes confidence. And Herrera does just that, comes out extremely strong, takes the contact. Been a bright spot for Frankie Allop's side.
Here's the change for San Antonio. Bailoni comes in for Dillon. His final effort in this game after getting that yellow card way back in the 3rd minute. And how about this? Santiago Patino, 2nd appearance of the year for a player that strikes fear into most every opponent's fan base. Can he come back with a bang?
When you're able to bring off Sam Adinrin and bring on Santiago Patino, not much to complain about. Your coach Alan Marcina. See, happy to see the number 9 back in a white jersey. He'll be extremely clean in his first touch, really play himself, get the confidence again. Clean first touch, connect their first pass. Make no mistake about it, Sam Adinrin and Justin Dillon put in a heck of a shift in. First time out for those boys, the understanding it's just going to get better. Throw in Elliot Collier, Santiago Patino as well. So much power going forward for the San Antonio side.
So Patino had 8 goals in 14 games a year ago. He is coming off a 2-month spell dealing with injury. Patino's return, Bailoni's 3rd appearance, all off the bench. These are essentially new additions. Adinarin just came in this week. And while you've certainly had Bailoni in the past, 2020 scored 3 goals for the team. Patino last year, such success. Alan Marcina suddenly has a series of new attacking players to work in together. Ball through, Beckford. Whisked away by Herrera. There's a reason most everybody on the national landscape has described San Antonio as not just a contender for the championship this year. They have to be a, if not the favorite. That depth that they've added is wild.
I mean, we just sound like a broken record, just naming off players that are just top class in this league. Santiago Patino makes way, and Adinarin comes off.
Bailoni let that run to him. The Argentinian watches this deflect back, a boo. Ahead from PC, Robinson through Herrera. 2-2 in the 79th minute. Let's tell you that the USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ+ community. Through the Forever Proud project, the USL strives to create safe and welcoming environments for all fans, players, employees, and partners. You can learn more at uslsoccer.com/foreverproud. Notably today, you can see 2 captain's armbands on Hugh Roberts, one Black Lives Matter on one bicep, and on the other, the Rainbow Forever Proud captain's band that's been given to all teams in the league. Set piece. There was a massive scramble in front of Jordan Farr, one of his numerous highlight reel saves. That was on a corner. This will be Murphy. Bounces down Rebelar on the first time. How about Jordan Farr? His dad, Tim, a professional soccer player. He was the best goalkeeper in NAIA, and sometimes it's easy to look at other sports and think, well, the highest level football, the highest level basketball, baseball, whatever, tends to be Division I. This bouncing through. There is a tremendous amount of talent in NAIA, for one, and numerous pathways to the pro game. This comes out to Boone. Boone, the step over. Jordan Farr has made a lot of fans in San Antonio and beyond. On the same staff in the goalkeeping room with Matt Cardoni, who's without doubt a legend in San Antonio.
And as this game is going to open up, these last 9 minutes here, it needs to be extremely careful for both sides, the players in the center of the park, not to get too eager, trying to find that winner and really push up to leave yourself.
Beckford. Ball brought down, PC. The return in front, what a goal! And what a return! Santiago Patino! He's waited months for this moment. He's put San Antonio ahead.
You could just feel the power. Give credit to Beckford, the skill, the body control, the quickness, the craftiness to skip away from a couple players. And then PC steps up, little combination play. You think he's gonna shoot it, just slots it across. Patino gets the better there of Kai Green. He wants it more. You can see the passion, of Donor. You can feel the passion from the striker who makes his impact felt. Puts his side up 3-2 on the road. Welcome back, Santiago Patino.
82nd minute, and changes are coming for Monterey Bay. We're gonna bring Sekou Kone and Maldonado off the bench.
Exiting the game for Monterey, Christian Valesky entered Jesse Maldonado.
Valesky off. He scored his first for the club back in the 17th. Maldonado played so well off the bench. Last time out against Oakland, enters Boone. It's a more equitable split of goals than the last time these teams met, but San Antonio still in line for all 3 points. by Loney. Wonderful work. Turned over here to Monterey Bay. And thrust through. Recovery to deny Kone by Maloney.
San Antonio needs to have a really good relationship between that back four and PC and Abu. And as Monterey Bay is going to try to claw themselves back into this match, they're going to throw a lot of numbers forward. Second balls are going to be extremely important for the remainder of this match. Even players like PC and Abu, so gifted in just the fight that they have, the spaces that they pick up. They're extremely clever. As defensive duties come first at this point in this match. If you're Monterey Bay, you need to move the ball extremely quick and clean in your decision making.
Here comes Maldonado. Maldonado ran out of real estate. Robinson left that short. Got that all wrong. Patino nearly ran away with it. Roberts arrived. 5 minutes to go plus stoppage. Donor. That's going to stay in. Robinson. Contact. Referee throws a hand up. Said nothing doing for Kone. Murphy. Diving header out for a corner. Notable this year, Monterey has played 11 games. San Antonio's played 12. There have been 0 draws.
Big coming together between Tainter and Kone. There is not much there. I think the ref gets that one right.
Murphy delivers. Roberts attempted a bike. Everybody's feeling a little fresh tonight. That was Kai Green, a collegiate striker.
All these center backs trying to pull off the impossible, trying to get on Sports Center top 10 there. Ball's extremely nice to him, to be fair. Just unlucky to get the contact that he would like. Hits it with the outside of his foot.
Sometimes you play these earlier starts. This began 3 p.m. Pacific time with national TV, ESPN Deportes showcasing the game. I sort of wonder if the heat and the sun, it's just going to be a slow game. Maybe you thought the way San Antonio popped Monterey Bay in the mouth early, 3 goals in the first half, and they met in San Antonio, maybe they'd be a little delicate. It has not played out that way. This has been a real barn burner start to finish.
And it just shows you the growth, especially of Monterey Bay. Really, you see teams, when they really get a bad result on the road, want to maybe sit back, really go into a 4-4-2, low block, make life extremely difficult for the opposition to break down. But not this Monterey Bay team, not Frank Yallop. The way that they're playing, the results that they've had, shows you the confidence, the growth that they have to go head-to-head with the top team sitting at the top of the Western Conference at the moment. It's a testament just to see how progressive they've been in such a short amount of time. This new club in the USL Championship.
Elsewhere, here's a shocker. Charleston 2, Pittsburgh 0.
Wow.
40 minutes in. Games on the East Coast are just underway here in the last half hour, 45 minutes. So when you're done with this one, you've got 100 ticks plus stoppage left. Flip around ESPN Plus for your pleasure at your leisure. Look at Monterey Bay create here down the stretch. Can they possibly shock San Antonio? Somewhere Colorado Springs is watching intently. Referee stopping play. This will surely add to the stoppage. Roberts having words. Now Kone's getting in the middle of it. Kone's still walking over there. That's Patino who's been doing all the talking. Looks like Boone is trying to pull everybody apart. And the referee is going to brandish, likely, several yellow cards. It's the same card that's going to be used several times. And this is where the referee is going to use the ARs and the fourth official to help get this right. Card. It appears no one who's on a yellow is going to get the boot. That would be Beckford, Maloney, or DeLem.
A yellow card caution has been issued to both Monterey and San Antonio.
1 second. 4-3 on this.
Public address announcer is going to have to be more clear. And that massive humanity. We'll sort it out in a moment.
That's the end of regulation. 4 minutes of stoppage.
More pressing moments here. Herrera drove it forward. Free kick. Free kick, Monterey Bay. They have a chance to steal a point on one kick of the ball. This is drama. Your eyes, I'm sure, are wide open like dinner plates. So put down that drink and soak this in.
We'll take a look. You see PC all over Kone, trying to give him a big bear hug. He knows better than that as a player with that experience in this league. Emotion getting the better of him. Good opportunity here, set up extremely nice right outside this 18-yard box for Kone. See time and time players go underneath the wall because it's too close to go up and over. We'll see what he elects here.
Kone could hit this with absolute power. Can Farr stand up to this? He won't have to. Off the wall, corner.
And he elects to go up and over. A lot of power. Give credit to San Antonio again with the great wall. Looks like it comes off the head of Mitchell Tainter and Santiago Patino.
Comes to the backside. We're more than halfway through the 4 added minutes. Ball bouncing away. Donor kept it alive. Floated to the backside. Header in front from Kone. And Boone watches this out for a corner. Some housekeeping. PC and Patino got yellow cards for San Antonio. And Hugh Roberts got a yellow card as well. Corner, Monterey Bay. Bounces out Robinson. Sends it wide again with too much juice. Murphy couldn't keep it in.
As emotions are high, adrenaline is high. You need to be able to really take a deep breath, slow this game down. So if you're Robertson there, take a touch, connect your pass, give your team a chance. It's going to be a silly frustration there from Frank Yallop.
Big collision. Roberts Roberts was on a yellow. Roberts is being sent off. He got a yellow card during the previous altercation, and now they say that his foul of Bailoni is enough for a second yellow. That is an enormous loss. That's the 5th red card in 12 games for Monterey Bay.
And it goes from bad to worse for Monterey Bay. Bailoni gets it before Roberts. It's a bit reckless from the center back. You can see here, great view here. Knees high, just comes through the chest of Bailoni. We'll see what the argument is there from the center back of Monterey Bay. He's heading to an early shower. The hard pill to swallow for Frank Yallop and the boys as he pays his due to respect the home faithful.
Good applause for the captain. Roberts sent off in the dying minutes. He will be unavailable for the game in LA. A game where you need your center backs. Well, how much time is left here? Because we've gone a full minute over. The referee throws his hand up. San Antonio's gone on the road. They've come from behind to win it. And Patino, the winner in his return. A 2-month layoff for Santiago Patino, and he bags the winner in the 82nd minute. San Antonio clear of Colorado Springs at the top of the Western Conference again.
Now you can see what it means to not only Santiago Patino, but the San Antonio organization to come into a hostile environment. Monterey Bay, a team that is just coming on the onward, walk away with all 3 points, but give credit to Monterey Bay. Just a couple lapses in the back really cost you the points. All so good for Frank Yallop again to go punch for punch against the top of the Western Conference side. But unlucky on the day, just a couple miscues in that back line really let you down.
All right, we'll wrap this one up on the other side of the break. San Antonio, a 3-2 victory. Monterey Bay, they grab the opening goal, they fall behind, they fight back. And San Antonio, as they have all year long, the magic elixir late. We'll wrap it up after these messages. San Antonio 3, Monterey Bay 2.
Coastal Roots Hospitality is a proud partner of the Monterey Bay Football Club. Coastal Roots Events and Catering, along with its 3 iconic restaurants, Montreo, Tarpe's, and Rio Grill, invite you to pick it up and pay it forward, where 10% of all proceeds from takeout orders are donated to various local charities. Their catering service and restaurants utilize local farms, butcheries, and ocean fresh sustainability-driven seafood to deliver unique and exemplary dining experiences. For more information, visit coastalrootshospitality.com.
Well, deep down, you hope every game is like this. Wild affair, start to finish. San Antonio goes away to Seaside, and for the second time this year, but this time with many more heart palpitations, another win against Monterey Bay. Mike Watts, Ricky Lopez, Espen. Here we go, full-time highlights, of which there are many. We start back in the 18th minute of play. Christian Valesky. Everybody stops. Put that ball in play. Here we go.
And it's good understanding between Crawford and and Valesky to be on the same page, catch the San Antonio backline sleeping. Good early start for Frank Yelp. You think it's going to be all sunshine here? Guess not. Players like San Antonio just so explosive. Barrera skips away from a couple defenders. And don't look now if you're Monterey Bay supporter. No, Strong, unable to get it all wrong. Puts the ball in the back of his own net. Nightmare for Frank Yelp in Monterey Bay.
That is shortly before halftime. You think, hey, let's just get into the locker room at 1-1. That's a good start. When you turn the ball over to San Antonio in your own half, these are the consequences. They make you pay.
And you cannot give this team any chance of hope. 2 passes, a little cheeky, classy finish from Justin Dillon to get his 5th on the year. 2-1 going into the break.
But in the 55th minute, we start to get a semblance of an idea that Monterey Bay would find a response. Valesky and Strong denied by far.
And it was all gas and no breaks from Monterey Bay, trying to find that equalizer early in that second half. Really, Frank Yelp's boys really came out motivated, aggressive on the front foot for most of that second half. But talk about big-time saves there from Jordan Farr. That ball goes in. This game is completely different. Massive save from San Antonio goalkeeper.
And then there would be a own goal from San Antonio that would turn this thing around. Monterey Bay would just not be denied. Donor the service put in. Unfortunate for Delem.
And he needs to make a touch on it. Valesky is there behind him. Good positioning from the striker. Just so unlucky for the center back.
Patino is back. Give and go allows PC to play Patino. You can see how much it means to him.
You can see how much it means to San Antonio to walk away with these points. But talk about tiki-taka football. 1-2 touch. Patino gets on the better half between Donor and Green and puts the ball in the back of the net to give the San Antonio side a 3-2 lead with minutes to spare.
And then this didn't affect this game at all. It is definitely going to affect the next one.
Yeah, it's just frustration for Frank Yelp to see your captain get a late red card there. It's going to be unavailable as they go to LA. Not good.
All right, San Antonio wins this one 3-2. A magnificent performance by Monterey Bay. Undone, as it seemingly always is, by the effortless, gritty San Antonio FC. San Antonio back top of the West for our entire Vista NEP crew. And Ricky Lopez has been alongside Mike Watts saying, so long from Seaside. San Antonio and Patino win it.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.